Confidence is one of the most powerful forces you can possess. It's an invisible energy that radiates outward, shaping how you interact with the world, and more importantly, how others perceive you. When you exude confidence, it's like a magnetic force that pulls people toward you, especially in the presence of someone you're interested in. But here's the interesting thing. Confidence isn't always loud. It doesn't require a booming voice or a dramatic display. True confidence is quiet, grounded, and authentic. It's in the way you carry yourself, the way you look at life, and the way you interact with others. Think about the people you find most attractive. Chances are it's not because they're physically perfect, but because they have this undeniable presence, this way of walking into a room and owning it. When you're truly confident, you don't seek external validation. You don't need the approval of others to feel good about yourself. You already know your worth, and it shows. People can sense this unshakable self-assurance. In fact, many people find themselves drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin. You don't need to brag or draw attention to yourself. It's in the quiet assurance that you belong and that you are enough. In public, this level of confidence manifests in subtle but impactful ways. When you stand tall, your posture automatically communicates that you are sure of yourself. You don't shrink away from space or avoid eye contact. Instead, you hold yourself open and present. It's this body language that speaks volumes. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it, and how you say it without speaking at all. Your body has its own language, and it can tell a story of self, assuredness that words often can't. When you walk into a room, do you make an impression? Confidence is something that can be felt the moment you step through the door. It's in the way you make your entrance, how you move through a crowd, and how you engage with the environment around you. It's an energy that's palpable, and it makes a lasting impact. People notice when someone is comfortable in their own skin. They can't help but be intrigued by the mystery of how someone can possess such poise without trying to impress anyone. However, true confidence doesn't mean being arrogant or boastful. Arrogance is often a facade designed to cover up insecurity. Confidence, on the other hand, is the absence of that insecurity. It's the inner knowledge that you are enough as you are, and that nothing can shake your sense of self-worth. This doesn't mean you're perfect, but it means you accept yourself fully. Confidence doesn't require perfection. It requires self-acceptance. When you can walk into a room without needing anyone's approval, it's incredibly attractive because it signals that you don't need external validation to feel good about yourself. And when a woman sees this in you, it triggers an unspoken attraction. Your confidence also shows in the way you communicate with others. When you speak, do you do so with certainty and clarity? Confident people don't second-guess themselves or hesitate in their speech. They communicate their ideas and feelings with authenticity. They don't worry about what others think because they already trust their own judgment. This trust in oneself, this ability to communicate without fear of rejection, is incredibly appealing. One of the key elements of confidence is emotional stability. When you are emotionally balanced and at ease with your emotions, you create a space where others feel comfortable as well. You don't overact in situations or let your emotions dictate your behavior. You handle challenges with grace, and this level of composure in public makes people take notice. It's an unspoken strength that emanates from within. Women, especially, find this kind of emotional maturity deeply attractive because it signals that you can be trusted. You're not someone who will fall apart at the first sign of adversity. Instead, you are someone who is capable of handling whatever comes your way without losing your sense of self. Confidence also has a lot to do with your mindset. People who are confident tend to have a positive outlook on life. They see challenges as opportunities for growth, not obstacles to avoid. This optimism is contagious, and it makes others want to be around you. When you can face difficult situations with a calm and optimistic perspective, it speaks to your inner strength. And this strength is something that women naturally gravitate toward. They see it, feel it, and are drawn to it, even if they don't fully understand why. In the public eye, your confidence doesn't require a grand performance. It's in the subtle moments, the way you speak to the waiter with respect, the way you handle an unexpected situation with composure, or the way you walk into a room without hesitation. You are confident not because you want attention, but because you are secure in your own identity. This is the type of energy that attracts others, especially women who value stability, emotional maturity, and authenticity. They may never admit it, but they are instinctively drawn to you when you carry yourself with this kind of confidence, whether in public or in private. Ultimately, confidence is not something you can fake. It's a state of being that comes from within and it radiates outward. When you embrace this quiet confidence, you don't just become more attractive, you become more magnetic, drawing others towards you without saying a word. Assertiveness is one of the most attractive traits you can possess, but it's crucial to understand the difference between being assertive and being aggressive. Assertiveness is about standing your ground, expressing your thoughts and desires clearly, and maintaining control over situations without stepping on others' toes. It's a confident ability to say what you need without the need to apologize for your desires or feelings. When done correctly, assertiveness creates a balance that not only makes you respected, but also draws people to you, especially women. When you are assertive, you are letting others know you value yourself and your time, and that you won't let anyone infringe on your boundaries. However, assertiveness isn't about bulldozing your way through life or overpowering people. Oz. It's about having the strength to be honest with yourself and others and ensuring that your voice is heard in a world that sometimes encourages silence. Being assertive means that you don't allow yourself to be walked over or taken for granted, and you don't passively let others dictate your course of action. In public, assertiveness often becomes most apparent in social interactions. When you're in a group, for example, the ability to assert your thoughts and opinions without fear of rejection is incredibly appealing. You don't shy away from speaking up in discussions or offering your perspective. Whether it's a casual conversation or a more serious debate, your assertiveness shows that you are comfortable with who you are and that your thoughts matter. People are naturally drawn to those who take the lead in conversations, who express their viewpoints without hesitation, but who also respect the opinions of others. It's a skill that demands self-assurance, and it radiates power without arrogance. An assertive individual is also someone who knows when to take charge and when to step back. They are not afraid to lead when the situation calls for it, yet they know how to give others the space to contribute as well. This is an essential element of leadership. It's not about dominating the conversation of the room, but about guiding others while allowing them to feel heard. Women find this ability incredibly attractive because it signals maturity and emotional intelligence. It shows that you are comfortable in a leadership role, but don't need to be the center of attention at all times. You know when to step up and when to pull back. The act of being assertive also ties directly to your ability to make decisions. An assertive person doesn't waver in their choices or get bogged down by second guessing. When a decision needs to be made, you take action, weigh your options, and proceed without hesitation. This decisiveness is incredibly powerful, especially in social or romantic situations. Women want someone who can lead the way and make decisions confidently without waiting for others to tell them what to do or to be constantly seeking validation for every step. Being decisive doesn't mean you're always right. It simply means you have the strength to make a choice and stand by it. And that is an extremely attractive quality. However, assertiveness also means knowing when to listen and when to let others express their views. True assertiveness isn't about bulldozing others in order to get your own way. It's about creating space for both your voice and theirs to coexist. When you are assertive in conversations, you take the time to understand the perspectives of others. You don't interrupt or dismiss opinions, but instead, you allow others to be heard while still holding firm to your own beliefs. This respect for others' thoughts while asserting your own is a delicate dance, but it creates a balance that shows maturity and emotional depth. It also signals to others that you are not just strong-willed, but emotionally aware. Your ability to assert your thoughts and boundaries in public settings also demonstrates respect for yourself. When you are in a crowded place, whether a social gathering or a more formal setting, the way you assert your space is often noticed. You are not intimidated by crowds or external pressures. You make your presence felt without being overbearing. And you never shrink away from your rightful place in any situation. This kind of grounded self-awareness is highly attractive, especially because it shows that you know your worth and aren't afraid to claim it. Furthermore, assertiveness includes respecting the space and boundaries of others too. While you assert yourself, you're also aware of how to respect others' space, opinions, and needs. It's not about bulldozing your way through a conversation or a situation. It's about contributing your thoughts or desires while making room for those around you to do the same. This quality of assertiveness is incredibly attractive because it shows that you can be strong without being overpowering. Women especially appreciate a person who knows how to take the lead when necessary, but also respects the flow of a conversation and the needs of others. In relationships, assertiveness becomes an essential factor. Being assertive means you're not afraid to express your needs, but it also means you respect your partner's needs. You don't wait for them to figure out what you need or expect them to read your mind. Instead, you articulate your desires clearly and calmly. In a romantic setting, being assertive creates clarity and reduces confusion. It shows your partner that you are emotionally mature enough to express what you need without manipulation or gaze. Women often find this honesty refreshing and reassuring because it fosters an environment of trust and open communication. Lastly, assertiveness is a sign of inner strength. It reflects the ability to be vulnerable and direct about your needs, desires, and boundaries. In a world that often values people pleasing, assertiveness stands out as a sign of emotional security. It says, I am comfortable in my own skin, and I won't hide my truth. Women find this quality attractive because it signals that you can take charge without the need to control others. It shows you are in command of yourself, your emotions, and your life. And that's a deeply powerful thing. When life presents challenges, the way you respond to stress speaks volumes about your character. Everyone faces moments of adversity, whether it's dealing with difficult situations, unexpected obstacles, or moments of pressure. But what sets you apart is how you handle those moments. Grace under pressure is one of the most attractive qualities a person can possess. And it's a characteristic that often goes unnoticed until it's needed most. The ability to stay composed, grounded, and emotionally stable in the face of difficulty is a reflection of your inner strength. This quality draws people in, especially women, because it provides a sense of security and emotional reliability. Being graceful under pressure is not about being perfect. It's not about handling every situation with ease or never showing signs of stress. It's about how you deal with those challenges when they arise. It's about maintaining your composure, even when everything around you is falling apart. When you remain calm in the face of adversity, others can sense your strength. And this often leaves a lasting impression. The way you deal with pressure shows that you are in control of your emotions and reactions. It demonstrates emotional intelligence, which is incredibly attractive because it suggests you are someone who can be trusted with difficult situations, both in personal and professional contexts. In public, this ability to maintain grace becomes even more visible. Whether it's a social gathering, a business meeting, or an unexpected event, the way you handle discomfort or pressure is evident to those around you. When you encounter a setback or uncomfortable situation, you don't let it derail you. Instead, you navigate through with calm determination. You don't react impulsively or let your emotions dictate your actions. Instead, you assess the situation, take a deep breath, and move forward with poise. This ability to remain composed in stressful circumstances communicates strength, maturity, and control, all of which are qualities that women find highly appealing. In contrast, people who struggle to stay calm under pressure often reveal a lack of emotional resilience. When someone loses their temper, gets visibly upset, or lets their anxiety take over, it creates an atmosphere of unpredictability. It makes others feel uncomfortable and even unsafe as they wonder how you might react in the future. Emotional instability can create a sense of insecurity, and this is not something that attracts people. However, when you remain unshaken in the face of difficulty, you show that you are emotionally resilient, which provides a sense of stability to those around you. Grace under pressure also extends beyond just staying calm. It's about being proactive, solution-oriented, and able to think on your feet. When a challenge arises, your first instinct is to find a way forward rather than getting bogged down in frustration or panic. Women, especially, appreciate this quality because it shows you are someone who can take control of a situation without becoming overwhelmed by it. When a problem arises, you don't waste time worrying about the worst-case scenario. Instead, you take action. Think creatively and work toward a solution. This mindset is not only practical, but it also reflects a level of mental clarity and emotional maturity that's incredibly attractive. There is something incredibly reassuring about being in the presence of someone who can maintain their composure, especially when things are uncertain. When you're able to handle a stressful situation with grace, it creates a sense of trust and security for others. You show that you can weather the storm without falling apart, and that's a rare quality in today's world, where many people are quick to react or give up when things get tough. Women are naturally drawn to individuals who provide that sense of emotional security. When they see you stay calm and collected, even when everything seems to be going wrong, it shows them that they can rely on you in times of need. Moreover, grace under pressure also has a level of self-awareness. It requires you to understand your emotional triggers and how to manage them. When you're in a stressful situation, you don't let your emotions get the best of you. You don't react impulsively or lash out. Instead, you know how to control your emotions and keep them in check. This self-regulation is incredibly attractive because it demonstrates maturity, self-discipline, and emotional control. It shows that you're not ruled by your emotions, but rather you're in control of them. And this gives you an inner strength that others can see and admire. When you are able to remain graceful under pressure, it also demonstrates that you can handle not only your own emotions, but also the emotions of those around you. In social settings, relationships, or even group projects, difficult moments often arise and people may start to panic, get frustrated, or become anxious. When you handle those situations calmly, you help to calm others as well. Your ability to stay centered creates a peaceful environment for everyone involved. This quality is deeply comforting as it shows you are capable of being a steady, reliable presence when things get chaotic. In romantic relationships, grace under pressure becomes even more important. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and how you handle those moments with your partner can make or break the relationship. When challenges arise, your ability to stay calm and collected can provide much needed stability. Instead of letting emotions get in the way or making the situation worse, you handle it with grace and maturity. This approach reassures your partner that you are someone who can be trusted to deal with difficult situations in a rational, composed way. Grace under pressure also plays a significant role in how you deal with public scrutiny or judgment. Everyone faces moments when they are judged or criticized, whether in public settings, social media, or professional environments. How you respond to these situations says a lot about your inner strength. Those who can handle criticism with dignity, who can respond thoughtfully rather than defensively, are always more attractive because they demonstrate emotional maturity and resilience. Women especially appreciate this ability because it shows that you are not only strong, but also emotionally intelligent. You don't let external negativity affect your self-worth or ability to stay focused on what matters. Lastly, being graceful under pressure is a skill that can be cultivated. It's not something you're born with, but rather something you can develop over time through self-awareness, emotional regulation, and practice. The more you practice staying calm and composed during stressful situations, the better you will become at it. And the more you demonstrate this quality in your daily life, the more it becomes ingrained in your character. As you continue to face challenges with grace, you'll find that this trait becomes one of your most powerful and attractive qualities. Playful teasing, when done correctly, is an art form, a delicate balance between humor and respect. It's a way to show your wit, lightheartedness, and ability to engage with someone on a deeper level without taking yourself too seriously. In social settings, especially in romantic or flirtatious interactions, playful teasing can be one of the most effective ways to create connection and build attraction. However, there is a fine line between playful teasing and crossing into mockery, and it's important to understand this distinction in order to engage in teasing that is both fun and appealing. The key to playful teasing lies in the intention behind it. When you tease someone in a way that is light and fun, it conveys that you're comfortable with them and that you're not afraid to make them laugh at your expense or theirs. It's a way of showing that you're not overly serious or rigid, but instead, you have the ability to laugh and enjoy life, even in slightly uncomfortable or playful moments. This ability to not take yourself too seriously is incredibly attractive because it signals a level of emotional maturity and self-confidence. When you can poke fun at someone or at yourself without malicious intent, it shows that you are emotionally secure and capable of handling humor with grace. In contrast, teasing that veers into mockery can be destructive. When teasing becomes cruel or belittling, it creates distance instead of connection. Instead of drawing people closer, it pushes them away. This is why the most successful and attractive forms of teasing are those that are always rooted in respect and good intentions. Playful teasing should never make someone feel less than or inferior. Instead, it should create a sense of camaraderie, a shared laugh, and a mutual understanding that you can both enjoy without anyone feeling hurt. Women, in particular, are incredibly sensitive to this dynamic. They are naturally attuned to subtle changes in tone and intent. So when teasing crosses into mockery or disrespect, they will immediately feel the shift, and it will affect their perception of you. There's also a psychological element to playful teasing that makes it so effective. When done right, teasing creates a sense of connection and intimacy. It involves a level of banter back and forth interaction that is both fun and engaging. When you tease someone in a lighthearted way, it shows that you are paying attention to them, noticing their quirks or habits, and choosing to engage with them in a way that creates a playful dynamic. This engagement fosters a sense of closeness and rapport, and it signals that you feel comfortable enough with the person to make them the target of your joke, but in a way that feels safe and inclusive. The emotional connection that forms through teasing can create a deeper level of attraction because it reveals that you're both on the same wavelength, capable of understanding and appreciating each other's sense of humor. Moreover, playful teasing can reveal your creativity and quick thinking. It's not about using the same tired lines or jokes over and over again. It's about being spontaneous and clever in your approach. When you can come up with witty, spontaneous comments in the moment, it showcases your ability to think on your feet. And that intellectual playfulness can be very appealing. Women find this kind of mental agility attractive because it suggests that you are interesting and capable of engaging in more than just surface level conversation. Teasing in a clever, creative way can elevate the interaction, making it more memorable and exciting. It shows that you have the mental capacity to keep up with them, which is often one of the most appealing qualities in a partner. Teasing can also serve as a way to gently challenge someone. But this challenge should always be framed in a way that invites growth and connection rather than creating tension or conflict. When you tease someone about their habits or behaviors, it can serve as a way to push them to reflect on themselves in a playful, non-confrontational way. For example, teasing someone about how much they talk about their favorite hobby or sport can be a way of gently encouraging them to expand their interests, all while keeping the conversation light and humorous. This type of teasing doesn't seek to undermine or diminish the other person, but instead it creates an opportunity for growth in a way that is fun, engaging, and non-threatening. Women especially find this kind of challenge attractive because it shows that you care enough to want to see them grow or become better while still maintaining a playful and relaxed atmosphere. The way you tease someone also gives insight into your emotional intelligence. When you can gauge the right moment to tease and when to hold back, it shows that you are attuned to the other person's emotional state. It's a sign that you are sensitive to their needs, boundaries, and comfort levels, which is incredibly important in any interaction, especially in romantic context. Teasing that goes too far or comes at an inopportune moment can make the other person feel uncomfortable or embarrassed. On the other hand, when you tease in a way that respects their boundaries and creates a sense of fun, it strengthens the emotional connection between you and demonstrates a higher level of emotional awareness. Women are naturally drawn to people who can read situations and emotions with finesse. And the ability to tease in a way that is both fun and respectful is an indicator of that emotional intelligence. In public, playful teasing can also serve as a way to showcase your social dominance in a non-threatening way. Social dynamics are complex, and the ability to navigate them successfully is a key component of attraction. When you can tease someone in a public setting without making them feel uncomfortable or exposed, it shows that you have control over the social environment. You're able to make light of a situation or a person without causing tension, and this ability to manage social dynamics in a relaxed, humorous way can be highly attractive. Women, especially in group settings, are drawn to individuals who can handle these dynamics with ease and who can engage with others in a playful, fun, and confident manner. Ultimately, playful teasing is about creating an environment of fun, connection, and mutual respect. It's about bringing joy into a conversation and allowing both parties to laugh and enjoy each other's company without the pressure of perfection. When done well, it can break the ice, reduce tension, and deepen the attraction between two people. It's a powerful tool for building rapport, testing the waters of a potential connection, and creating a dynamic that is light, playful, and exciting. But the key is always maintaining respect, understanding the boundaries of others, and using humor to foster a deeper sense of connection and emotional intimacy. Acts of kindness, no matter how small, have an undeniable power to influence the way people perceive you. The way you treat others in public says a lot about your character, and when you show genuine care for those around you, it can make a lasting impression. Kindness isn't about grand gestures or seeking recognition for your actions. It's about demonstrating empathy, respect, and consideration in the simplest of moments. The way you interact with waitstaff, baristas, or even strangers you pass on the street can speak volumes about who you are as a person. The idea behind kindness is that it's not performed for any personal gain, but because you genuinely care about the well-being of others. People who act kindly without the need for applause are often perceived as authentic, humble, and emotionally mature. It shows that they don't seek to dominate or control situations, but instead take the time to make others feel valued. In public settings, this trait stands out because it highlights that you are not just self-centered, but that you have a broader view of the world around you. The ability to make others feel seen and respected, especially in moments when it costs you nothing, speaks to the core of your emotional intelligence and character. When you show care for others, whether through a thoughtful gesture or a simple act of service, you invite admiration. Women, in particular, are drawn to individuals who can show genuine kindness. It creates a sense of trust and security as it signals that you are someone who can be relied upon to act with integrity and compassion. When a woman sees you being kind to others in public, she subconsciously begins to associate those same qualities with how you would treat her. If you can show care and consideration for a stranger, she'll feel more confident that you'll extend that same respect and attention to her. Additionally, kindness has an inherent warmth that draws people in. In a world where it's easy to become consumed by personal goals, stress, or agendas, taking the time to make others feel comfortable and valued can be incredibly refreshing. It's a rare quality to encounter someone who acts with sincere consideration for others without expecting anything in return. And this authenticity creates a deep level of attraction. Women often appreciate this trait because it reveals that you are emotionally generous and that you are more concerned with the well-being of those around you than with gaining personal accolades or recognition. This emotional generosity is one of the most endearing qualities anyone can possess, and it forms the foundation of meaningful, lasting relationships. Being kind in public also means demonstrating patience. Life can be hectic, and it's easy to become irritated when things don't go according to plan. But when you're able to remain patient, especially in stressful or frustrating situations, you demonstrate emotional resilience and self-control. Women find this particularly appealing because it shows that you're someone who can maintain composure and a positive attitude even in the face of adversity. Whether it's dealing with a long line at the coffee shop or waiting for a delayed flight, your ability to stay calm and patient in those moments reflects a strength of character. It shows that you don't allow external factors to determine your mood or behavior, and that level of emotional stability is highly attractive. Kindness also involves being considerate of people's time, energy, and space. In a world that is often fast-paced and hurried, taking the time to acknowledge someone, listen to them attentively, or offer a helping hand goes a long way. It's the small gestures, like holding the door open for someone, complimenting someone on their achievements, or offering assistance when someone seems overwhelmed, that can make all the difference. These actions may seem minor on the surface, but they create a ripple effect that often leaves a lasting impact on the recipient. It shows that you are not so consumed by your own world that you overlook the needs of others. Instead, you take the time to be present and considerate, and that level of attentiveness is deeply attractive. Another powerful aspect of kindness is its ability to create a sense of community. When you act kindly toward others, it fosters a positive environment that encourages connection and collaboration. In public, your kindness can serve as a beacon that invites others to engage with you in a more meaningful way. People are naturally drawn to individuals who radiate warmth, and by extending kindness, you are able to cultivate an environment where others feel comfortable and welcome. Women are naturally attracted to those who can make them feel safe, valued, and respected. When you create an atmosphere of kindness and inclusivity, you make it easier for others to open up, trust you, and form genuine connections with you. Moreover, kindness in public displays a level of humility that is often overlooked. It's easy to act kind when it benefits you or when you know you'll get credit for it. But true kindness is given without the expectation of recognition or reward. When you act selflessly and show that you care for others, regardless of who they are or what they can do for you, it reveals a level of selflessness and humility that is incredibly attractive. Women especially find this humility appealing because it demonstrates that you are grounded and not caught up in the pursuit of status or external validation. You are confident in your own worth, and as a result, you have no need to prove yourself through grand displays or selfish motives. The impact of kindness extends far beyond the individual acts themselves. When you engage in acts of kindness, it creates a positive feedback loop. People around you are more likely to be kind in return, and this creates a ripple effect that extends outward. It's not just about making the people around you feel good. It's about creating a culture of kindness that elevates the entire environment. In relationships, this shared sense of kindness becomes even more powerful. When both individuals prioritize kindness and empathy, it creates a solid foundation for a healthy, thriving relationship. Women are naturally drawn to men who can create that kind of positive environment, not just for them, but for others as well. It shows that you're someone who contributes to the well-being of everyone around you, and that kind of energy is magnetic. Finally, kindness is an integral part of building trust. When you consistently show kindness to others, it demonstrates that you can be trusted to act in good faith, even in challenging situations. It shows that you are reliable, dependable, and always willing to put the needs of others first. Trust is one of the most essential elements of any relationship, and kindness is one of the most powerful ways to cultivate it. Women value partners who can be trusted to act with integrity, who show empathy, and who demonstrate that they care about the people around them. By being kind in public, you are laying the groundwork for a deeper, more meaningful connection based on trust, respect, and mutual care. Leadership, when executed with humility and sensitivity, is one of the most powerful traits that can shape your presence in any social or professional environment. The ability to take charge of a situation without dominating it or overshadowing others is a delicate balance that not only earns respect, but also fosters a sense of stability and trust. Leadership is not about asserting control for the sake of control. Rather, it's about guiding and inspiring others, allowing them to feel valued and heard while still taking the necessary steps to move forward. This type of leadership is especially attractive because it speaks to a high level of emotional intelligence and maturity. In public, leadership is often on display in subtle ways. How you handle a group, how you take responsibility when things go wrong, and how you communicate with others. It's in your ability to take charge of a situation without arrogance, to make decisions that are in the best interest of the group, and to ensure that everyone feels involved in the process. When you lead without dominating, you create an environment of mutual respect and cooperation. People feel comfortable with you in charge because they trust your judgment and your ability to act fairly. This trust is built on the foundation that you're not leading for personal gain, but for the collective good. Women, in particular, are drawn to men who exhibit these types of leadership qualities. The reason is simple. Women value emotional stability, maturity, and the ability to handle difficult situations with grace. When you lead without overpowering others, you create a dynamic that signals to others that you can be relied upon when things get tough. Women find security in this kind of leadership because it shows that you can make decisions and guide situations without needing to constantly assert your dominance or seek approval. It's a quiet strength that is incredibly appealing, as it demonstrates that you are capable of handling responsibility with maturity and thoughtfulness. True leadership also means knowing when to step back and let others shine. The most effective leaders understand that they don't have to take the spotlight at all times. They can empower those around them, allowing others to take the reins when appropriate. This willingness to share power and recognize the strengths of others is the mark of a truly effective leader. In group settings, you might be the one who takes initiative in starting a project, but you also give credit where credit is due and allow others to contribute their ideas and talents. This fosters an atmosphere of collaboration where everyone feels valued and respected rather than being overshadowed or dismissed. There is a quiet confidence in leaders who know their role is to guide, not to dominate. When you take the initiative to lead in a public space, whether it's making decisions in a group conversation or navigating a social event, it's your ability to manage the space that makes you stand out. You don't impose your will on others, but you take responsibility for moving things forward. This balance between authority and humility is what makes your leadership style so attractive. It shows that you are comfortable with taking the reins when needed, but also mature enough to know that leadership is about uplifting others, not just dictating the way forward. Leadership also entails being emotionally attuned to the needs of those around you. A great leader is someone who can read a room, understand when people are feeling uncertain, and adjust their approach accordingly. It's about creating an environment where everyone feels heard, understood, and valued. Women are especially drawn to this quality because it demonstrates a high level of emotional awareness. It's not about commanding attention, but about making those around you feel comfortable enough to express themselves freely. When you lead with empathy, when you take the time to understand the concerns and needs of others, it builds a deep sense of respect and admiration. It shows that you are not just in control, but that you also care about the people you're guiding. Effective leadership also means owning up to your mistakes and being willing to learn from them. Leaders who are able to admit when they're wrong and take responsibility for their actions create a culture of trust and accountability. This is a sign of strength, not weakness. When you can be transparent about your mistakes, it shows that you are open to growth and that you don't need to be perfect to be effective. It's this humility and willingness to learn that makes you even more trustworthy as a leader. People are more likely to follow someone who can acknowledge their flaws and work to improve, rather than someone who is rigid, unyielding, or too proud to admit when they've made an error. Furthermore, leadership isn't just about managing others. It's also about managing yourself. Self-leadership is just as important as leading others, and it involves being disciplined, organized, and focused on your own personal development. When you take responsibility for your own growth and success, you demonstrate that you have the internal drive to succeed and that you don't need anyone else to push you forward. Women are attracted to men who show ambition and initiative in their own lives because it signals that you are capable of taking charge, not just in social settings, but in all areas of your life. The best leaders are those who are adaptable and flexible. They can adjust to changing circumstances and modify their approach when necessary. In public situations, this adaptability is critical. Things don't always go as planned. And when they don't, your ability to pivot and stay calm shows that you can handle the unexpected. This is a crucial trait in leadership because it reflects a level of resilience and problem-solving ability that makes others feel secure and confident in your judgment. It also demonstrates that you are not rigid in your thinking, but are open to new ideas and perspectives. Another aspect of leadership is the ability to inspire and motivate others. A great leader is someone who can spark enthusiasm in others and get them excited about a shared goal or vision. Whether it's motivating a team to work together or inspiring a group of friends to take on a new challenge, your ability to encourage and uplift others creates an environment of positivity and momentum. When you can inspire those around you, you make them feel like they are capable of achieving more than they thought possible. This kind of motivation is not only effective in group settings, but is also incredibly attractive because it shows that you have the ability to bring out the best in others. Leadership is also about having a clear vision and being able to communicate it effectively. Whether in a professional setting or a social gathering, being able to articulate your goals, ideas, and intentions in a way that others can understand and rally behind is a powerful leadership skill. It's the ability to inspire people through your words and actions and to make them believe in the possibility of achieving something greater together. Women are naturally drawn to individuals who can articulate clear vision for the future, as it shows that you are forward, thinking, and ambitious. Two qualities that are incredibly appealing. At the end of the day, leadership is about creating an environment where people feel empowered, valued, and respected. It's about balancing authority with humility, confidence with empathy, and decisiveness with openness. When you lead in this way, you not only earn the admiration of those around you, but also build strong, meaningful connections. This kind of leadership fosters trust, deepens relationships, and establishes you as someone people naturally want to follow and support. It's the kind of leadership that doesn't demand respect, but earns it over time.